What happens when you ask artificial intelligence what silver's price will be by 2025? We all know that AI is getting more accurate and precise by the day, and if what Meta's new AI said about silver's upcoming price by 2025 is true or even somewhere in the ballpark, well, folks, things are about to get crazy.
Connection established.
Only 3 days ago, a very interesting and extremely compelling article came out titled Meta AI Predicts Silver's Price for 2025. Now, Meta AI is the newest version. I made a video about a month ago about a separate AI giving a silver price forecast, and in that video, I wanted to understand how they came up with those numbers, which I was very impressed with. They actually understand what influences the market, from geopolitical factors, the economy, supply deficits, and even the dollar's value. They are learning very quickly. Now, this is a completely different AI. The last silver AI priced forecast video that I did, that AI gave different scenarios, how likely those scenarios are to happen, and what silver's price would be given each scenario. So it gave like 4 different prices, said most likely to happen, less likely. It was very insightful. I will actually link that in this video as well. Remember, these are 2 separate AIs. Some people think AI is just one thing. It's not. This is the newest version. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you guys like this video if you enjoy the video. I'll be doing a big giveaway soon on this channel, so make sure you stick around. Now, although the price of silver has been moving in a sideways trend recently, the gray metal is recording buying interest, which has witnessed an uptick in the past couple of weeks. And a recent artificial intelligence AI model has provided insights on silver's potential performance in 2025. Indeed, silver's price movements have lost their upside momentum and have recorded unimpressive action lately, but this seems to have only encouraged some investors to take the opportunity and buy the dip in the expectation of improvement and consequently profit in the future. Here is Meta AI's silver price prediction. With this in mind, Finbold asked AI Llama 3.1, the AI model by Meta, to share information regarding the potential price performance of silver in 2025, as well as specific silver price ranges predictions from the standpoint of August 22nd. And I like that they did that as well, because this shows the most recent information regarding Kamala to everything that's happening. Because remember, these things are very thorough. They scan the internet for everything that affects the price of silver and gives some type of a forecast. Remember, gamblers throw money at the wall, just pray that it sticks. Investors make strategic decisions based off information. We take the information and tweak it in our favor. So we are essentially doing the same thing. We're not just gambling. We are looking forwards, seeing what affects the price during different scenarios and situations, and we bet on that to some extent. But silver's money itself, so it's not really a gamble and it's not really an investment either. So anyways, as it happens, Meta's AI platform has drawn upon available predictions by analysts like Keith Neumeier, the CEO of First Majestic Silver, and an AI-powered predictive model, those used by Price Vision to set the potential price of silver in the estimated range of between $30 and $55 by 2025. Specifically, according to Llama's 3.1 information, Neumeier has predicted that silver could hit the price of $100 per ounce eventually. This has set it at $30, or I guess Reuters has set it at $30 in 2025, whereas Price Vision expects $48 per ounce by mid-2024 or mid-2025. And now, we're already at near mid-2024, and it's definitely not going to do that. But I do want to say, and I do got to give a disclaimer, take these numbers with a grain of salt, because we cannot predict. It's like the weather, especially with something like silver that's extremely volatile. But like I said, with the metaphor between gamblers and investors, looking forwards, it doesn't have to take a genius or a rocket scientist to see or to place your bet on something being more bullish for silver than bearish. So I really hope that they explain why they came up with these like the last AI model did. So Elsewhere, and this is investment expert silver price prediction, elsewhere, retired investment expert Kevin Bambro has recently opined that demand for silver might soar due to Samsung launching a new solid-state battery for EVs. That includes silver as a key component, expecting it to carry as much as 5 grams of the precious metal per cell. As he explained, quote, a typical EV battery pack containing around 200 cells for 100 kilowatts capacity could require about 1 kg of silver per vehicle. We're not going to go into all that stuff, but taking these factors into consideration, Bambro believes silver could reach all-time high inflation-adjusted price of $200 per ounce in the next 10 to 15 years. I made a video about this. I think that is extremely I just feel like that's extremely bearish in a silly way. I mean, especially since he mentions inflation-adjusted price. Like, think of how much milk has gone up in the last couple of years. Think of anything. Inflation makes things more valuable. It takes more dollars to buy something. So, of course, that would apply to silver. But given silver's value on top of not just inflation, but the money itself, it just is a very silly thing to say in the next 10 to 15 years. Our dollar won't even exist in the next 10 to 15 years, right? I'm not saying that's a fact, but the dollar's already lost 98% of its purchasing power with $35 trillion in debt. And we are already pushing towards a new global reset, a financial reset, as the US dollar's losing its world reserve currency status. So taking these in consideration, he says $200 in the next 10 to 15 years. And he says, concluding that, all one needs to do is look back at silver in 1970s to see how explosive the precious metal can move skyward when a true shortage develops. The spectaculars decide to hoard. My bet is and will be hoard. Now, they also mentioned that it could be $48 by mid-2025. That would push it to $100 extremely fast, since we would be talking about the all-time highs like we reached in 1980 and 2011. And the situation that happened in 1980 is very similar to what's happening now with the supply deficits and what the Hunt brothers did, buying up all the physical metal, turning it into physical delivery, or buying up all the metal on the COMEX, turning it into physical, basically playing the hand from the COMEX, showing this facade of how they're able to hold down the price, which also, going back to his 10 to 15 year thing, is silly because we already know the COMEX, the LBMA, and the LME are all running dry with their silver inventory. Some are saying that we could completely run out of silver by 2025. I don't believe that, but the whole point of looking at 770 million ounces in the red in the last 4 years alone, 252 million ounce supply deficit this year, to say 10 to 15 years is wild given how serious the deficit is right now as it is. So here's a price analysis. Meanwhile, silver, and that's the price of silver at press time, stood at $29.58 an ounce, reflecting 0.01% decline in the last 24 hours. So how much is a kilo of silver worth? Notably, based on prices of the popular precious metal at the time of publication, a kilogram of silver goes for $951, while the cost of silver per gram presently stands at 95 cents. According to the data on August 22nd. All things considered, Meta AI's chatbot predictions could be correct, especially as they rely on data and analysis from various reputable sources online. However, doing one's own due diligence is critical when investing, as things in any market can quickly change. Yeah, I actually like the other AI a lot better, because the other AI, like I mentioned, gave different prices. And it was a much smaller gap than $30 to, it said $30 to $55 between 2025, which is a wild gap. I mean, silver was just $30, a couple days ago. So the whole point, though, is that the last AI, and I think this is the direction a lot of AIs will go. I really do encourage you to go check out that video. It gave a whole bunch of different scenarios. It included politics, it included geopolitics, it included the fundamentals, and it said each situation, how likely that situation is to play out, and if that situation plays out, what silver's potential price could be, and then it said like a somewhat likely situation, and then they explained that, gave the price, then they said like the least likely situation, then they explained that situation and what silver's price could be. So it really gave you an idea on if what happens in the future happens, then where silver would sit. It was a very interesting thing. This was a little, this was a little upsetting. I guess I just think they could have gave a lot more context of where they gave these numbers or where they got these numbers from, instead of just explaining that they got these numbers from the internet, like the last AI model was very thorough. So anyways, yeah. I'm going to wrap this video up here. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think silver's price will be by 2025. And also, what do you think about these AI price forecast predictions? Like, do you think that they're going to become, or do you think they'll be more accurate as time goes on? Or do you think that these AIs just can't understand the entirety of how complex silver's market is, meaning like COMEX, or how the COMEX is able to manipulate the price of silver by shorting the market or pumping out all these digital or these paper silver contracts, understanding there's not that much physical out there, or understanding what I'm curious if the AI is as accurate as some humans could be when giving or when throwing out these types of prices, or where the weight of each influential situation happening that affects the price of silver sits on their scale, right? There's a lot to this. The silver rabbit hole runs very deep. So I hope that they continue to break down or I guess share the information of how they get these types of numbers as well. But remember, take this stuff with a grain of salt, because the markets are extremely unpredictable. We're living in crazy times, so expect crazy things to happen. But remember, at the end of the day, you cannot take away silver's true value. No matter who says that 1 ounce coin is worth what is irrelevant, because the coin's value is the 1 ounce of silver inside of it, not the price tag. And once you understand that, you're a true silver stacker. And once you understand that, you will never care what the price does unless you're about to sell. Because, and most people that understand that will never sell. Like I said, gamblers just throw money at the wall, hope it sticks. There's no thought behind it. Just throw money at something. Investors make strategic decisions based off information. So we're like a gambler, but we're taking the information and tweaking the odds. Gamblers' odds highly against them. Investors make the odds work for us. And looking forwards, with everything, the way the world's going, everything, it all points towards higher silver prices. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. I love you all. Make sure you subscribe. If you guys wanted to purchase some of this shiny stuff, which is still extremely cheap, then you could email me, slayer@milesfranklin.com, or call me 330-485-6172. I will hook you up. Tomorrow will be Monday, so we'll have new gold and silver specials. Every Monday we have new specials, so make sure you email me, ask what the new specials are. I'll send you the new price sheet, because every Monday we also have a new price sheet that comes out along with the specials. So yeah, good stuff. I'll make sure you guys are taken care of, and stay tuned. This was Silver Slayer. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.